In the upcoming elections, Polish people will decide whether Donald Tusk's deputy will become the new head of state. In such a scenario, it is difficult to imagine Rafał Trzaskowski reacting to the unlawful actions of the Donald Tusk-led government. And it is the president's duty to uphold the constitution, said Polish President Andrzej Duda. It is the president who will watch over the observance of the constitution. The president is the one who will be obliged. Therefore, in cases where someone doesn't follow the Polish constitution or Polish law and violates the law, whoever that person may be, the president will be obliged to bring it to her attention and then tell that person loudly that the law is being violated. Donald Tusk took the president's speech hard and even on a national holiday could not refrain from spiteful words. Mr. President celebrated the Constitution holiday like no one else, and the Constitution itself. The thief screams, "Catch the thief." The Chronicle of Lawlessness by Donald Tusk has many chapters. One of the first was the illegal takeover of public media, which the head of the Civic Platform announced this way. It will be according to the law, as we understand it. Meanwhile, the president reminded us that the Constitution leaves no room for overinterpretation. Because it was you, my compatriots, who agreed to this constitution in the referendum by reading it as it was written. Because in your majority, you are not experts in legal interpretation. You are not experts in legal reasoning. And it is a great constitutional fraud to extract from the content of the Constitution what was never written in it. The Constitution also does not provide for the manner in which the state prosecutor Dariusz Barski was dismissed and replaced with Dariusz Korneluk by the December 13th coalition. In the now famous recording, Adam Bodnar held Donald Tusk responsible for this illegal maneuver. Your action is unlawful. The new national prosecutor appointed by you. How was he appointed? By what decision? Please inform me. He was appointed by the decision of Prime Minister Donald Tusk. Donald Tusk has made no secret of his intention to break the law. He admitted this when introducing a new system in Poland, the so-called fighting democracy. We have a need today to act in terms of fighting democracy. That is, we will probably make mistakes more than once or commit acts that, according to some legal authorities, will be against or not fully in accordance with the provisions of the law. During his speech, President Andrzej Duda recalled that adjectival democracy was a feature of the Polish People's Republic. When authorities imposed from Moscow, authorities imposed from the Kremlin ruled here. When Poles were oppressed, many of them suffered, and many of them were thrown into prisons. And democracy was only a facade, as a people's democracy, an adjectival democracy. A feature of a facade democracy is the lack of political pluralism. The current government seeks to eliminate the largest opposition party. That's why Law and Justice deputies and even ordinary officials end up behind bars, and Jarosław Kaczyński's party is unlawfully denied due subventions, which causes shock in the civilized world. I have been asked whether I am really the only candidate in this race who is being deprived of subventions unlawfully. This is the kind of experience that shows that information about the state of the Polish rule of law, the judiciary, and the presidential race itself is reaching the White House. Donald Tusk's lawlessness is also suppressing freedom of speech. TV Republica, which does not practice pro-government propaganda, faces harassment and attempts to revoke its license. This is an unthinkable situation in a democratic state. Currently, the slogan "Free Courts" sounds like a mockery. The December 13th coalition does not recognize the legitimacy of judges appointed under the United Right government. This allows for discretionary rulings, done on a whim by the ruling coalition. The key chambers of the Supreme Court or the Constitutional Court, which have been deprived of money to function or salaries for judges, are being undermined. Taking all this into account, in early February, the president of the tribunal filed a notice to the prosecutor's office about a possible coup. On January 31st, I signed a 60-page crime notice on reasonable suspicion of a crime committed by the Prime Minister, ministers, the Marshal of the Sejm, the Marshal of the Senate, deputies and senators of the ruling coalition, the president of the Government Legislation Center, some judges and prosecutors, and others. The prosecutor's office swiftly covered up the case, and the prosecutor who undertook the investigation investigation, was removed from his duties.